in the wind, like, that sounded awful. I don't know what that noise was, but it sounded so disgusting, and I hated that.
It was probably just
I'm so sorry if anybody's listening to this podcast, because that sounded so awful. Anyways, but yeah, they don't know who a lot of the people, a lot of the victims were. So I have 5 here. The first one is the Witch of Yazoo. Also, if I mess up any of these names, because there's a name on here that I'm for sure going to mess up, and some, like, names of people and names of places. Just a warning, so don't attack me. In Yazoo County, Mississippi, in the United States, which is where this one was, legend has, in the 1800s, there was a witch who was very similar in characteristics as a siren. Which is why I thought it was funny that you were talking about mermaids earlier.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And she would, lure fishermen in out of the river and torture them.
Oh.
So this person was actually a bad person. Like, whether she was a witch or not, she was just a bad person.
Yeah. That sounds like it.
Yeah. And so she actually ran away from the authorities after they found 2 butchered men hanging from the rafters in her home.
Oh.
Like, they were slaughtered. Like, pigs. Or cows. Like, they were, yeah.
Were they skinned?
I mean, I don't know if they were exactly skinned, but I kind of just assumed that they were at least partially skinned, and just, it was like, oh, it's bad. Anyway, so after she was running away from them, she actually ended up falling into quicksand.
Oof.
Yeah, yeah. And as she was sinking, she actually had said that she would see the city burn. And guess what?
Oh no.
In 1904, the city of Yazoo did actually, like, it set ablaze. Like, there was big fires, and, like, it yeah. So that's fun. And since then, since that, fire, there have been chains that have, like, put atop and, like, surrounding her grave. That way she couldn't get out. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And, the legend says that if the chains were broken, then the city would once again set fire.
Oh no.
So that's fun.
Imagine if some teenager just decided to go vandalize a graveyard and took, like, the big chain cutters.
Yeah.
And just decided to go, just...
Oh, that's fun. And then,
like
the next day.
whole
Yeah.
sets on fire.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so that was the first one. These are, like, real quick and easy, so hopefully I can fit them in 10 minutes. The next one is the grave of Meg Shelton. It was in Woodplumpton, Lancashire, England. That's how
probably
I say it.
Lancashire.
Maybe. It's something like that. You know, if you live in England, hit me up and let me know.
I'm gonna be fairly impressed if we get anyone in England, but you know. Yeah.
Also same. So in a small village there, the people of Woodplumpton, thought that a woman named Meg Shelton was a witch. They said that she would transform into an animal during the night to carry out her mischievous deeds. And I think the biggest thing that they, like, thought her to do was steal milk from other people's cattle.
Huh.
Like, she would just go to, like, a farm,
Milk a cow.
and she would just go milk a cow and just leave, I guess.
How fucking dare her?
Yeah.
I just don't...
Yeah.
Mischievous
Yeah.
deed.
Yeah. I mean,
God.
I guess to be fair, back then, like, that was, like, a really big deal. If somebody had stolen somebody else's pig, like,
I mean, yeah,
it was
but
a really big
stealing
deal.
a whole fucking cow.
You're right, but also, it's cutting down on the profits. Profits, baby, profits.
Yeah, but, like,
I think it was mostly the animal thing that, like, sold them. They're like, oh, you turned into a wolf at night? Yeah, no.
Yeah, I know that.
And
Imagine it's just an actual wolf just milking. Sorry.
The wolf in sheep's clothing is more than a warning. Ba, ba, Sorry. Death.
Yeah, apparently. Nice silence. Like 3 gay babies were born.
Oh, that's great. Nobody understands that.
That's
That's
okay.
great. According to the legend, Meg was crushed by a barrel that pinned her to a wall.
Oh.
Don't know how that happened. I don't know if somebody was just like, hey Meg,
Have a barrel.
what's up? Smash. Haha. Bye, Meg.
Jeez, Meg.
God.
Sorry.
And, the townsfolk were actually so afraid that her powers, of her and her powers, that they buried her vertically, like up and down. But they buried her head first into a small and tight shaft. That way, if she tried to dig out, she would be digging the wrong way.
That's weird.
And they also put a large stone on top of her grave, so she couldn't, like, get out if she somehow did turn around. Which, by the way, that gigantic rock is still there in the St. Anne's churchyard with a plaque on it to warn people that the witch of Wood Plumpton lies beneath.
Cool.
Yeah, so, like, hey, be careful.
That's cool.
Alright, number 3.
That's cool, but also sad. Like,
Yeah.
hold on. She like, stole milk and then got smashed by a barrel.
And then was stuck upside down in the ground.
That's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
She was just thirsty, yo.
She was just thirsty.
She just needed some milk. Like,
She needs
you
some
need
milk. Okay.
Like, that's all.
Alright. So number 3 is the Chesterville Witch.
I'm only laughing because it's uncomfy and so sad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Alright, so the Chesterville Witch, obviously was in Chesterville. And Illinois, actually. Illinois.
Don't say Illinois. You're
Yeah.
triggering everyone.
I am. It's because I was just reading it and I was so focused on looking at the word
We have
that
a
I
listener.
said it wrong.
I hope we have a listener from Illinois.
Same.
And I hope that they say
Illinois.
it's pronounced Illinois.
And
To correct you,
Yeah.
even though I am doing it, but
oh
like,
no, I hope that happens. That would be great.
Their poor fucking ears. You have destroyed them.
Okay. In the 1900s, in the Illinois Amish country, there was actually a woman who challenged the Amish faith, and then she was accused of witchcraft. So she was accused of it because she challenged the Amish faith.
Faith.
Words.
Yeah.
I'm trying to rush, which is why I keep messing up.
No, you don't need to rush.
Yeah, I only have 7 minutes.
I mean, yeah, but you said it's okay if you don't get all nonsense.
I mean, that's fair. Okay. Anyways, so the town elders, actually, they gave her the name, Devil's Servant. Yeah,
Okay.
Devil's Servant. And banished her. But her body was actually found in a nearby field. Like, just kind of randomly was...
That's...
Yeah. So, they buried her, and they planted a tree on top of her grave.
I would love for that to happen.
As a marker, like, to know where she is. Which is actually kind of funny, because she's kind of just, like, giving life to the earth, which is ironic.
Yeah.
But they actually believed that, that her soul was still in the tree, and that if the tree was cut down or damaged, that her soul and her ghost would escape and, seek revenge on the ones responsible for her death. Which, I mean, to be honest,
That's kind of
you kind of deserve it.
That's kind of fair. I mean...
Yeah. Okay, so the tomb of, this is where I'm gonna mess up so hard. Lilius Addie. I don't know if her name was Lilius or not. So I'm just gonna,
This is pretty.
go by Addie, because I know how to say that. This was in Torryburn, Scotland. In 1704, there was the woman, Miss Addie, who the townspeople accused of witchcraft. She actually died in the prison before she could be tried and sentenced. Yes?
I hear music.
Same. She might be on her phone. Anyways, so before, like I said, she died in prison before she could even be tried or sentenced and burned at the stake. But before that, like, after being coerced into confession, like, she was actually coerced into confession that she was the devil's wife. And then, you know, she died in prison. So, they actually buried her in a beach off of, I'm gonna mess this up so hard, and I'm so sorry, West Fife? I believe it's Fife. F-I-F-E, Fife. And they actually buried her deep in the mud, and it was between the high and the low tide. And they used a large tombstone to seal her in the muddy grave so she couldn't, like, get out. And, so she couldn't rise again. Although the legend says that if a high tide comes in, the legend says that when a high tide came in, her body disappeared, but the stone was still there.
Ooh, that's weird. I was about to say, like...
So they were afraid that...
When they have a high tide, her body's gonna move. Why would you bury her on a beach? That's stupid.
Yeah, I agree. But they were... So, like, it could have just been that, but also the rock didn't move.
Mildly not bright.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, so the last one...
Also really weird the rock didn't move.
Yeah.
Because you'd expect it to, like, sink or something?
Yeah, so they were just kind of thinking that she just somehow got out. So the witch whose mouth was nailed shut is the next one. This is the last one.
What?
The witch whose mouth was nailed shut.
Okay.
This one is, I don't know how to say the city or the town, but it was in Tuscany, Italy, and it was in Piombino. That's how we're gonna go with it. And an archaeological dig of a witch's graveyard in that place in Tuscany. The remains of an 800-year-old woman who was thought to be in her Middle Ages was found, and it seemed that some of the numerous superstitious ways that people who thought were... Sorry, I'm messing up my sentences so hard.
You're okay.
Okay, so it seems that to some of the numerous superstitious ways that people who have tried to keep witches from pulling a Jesus Christ and coming back to life. That was the joke that I thought you would find funny. Death was not punishment enough for this woman, apparently, and it had come to be believed that the people in the area near her were so worried of her using her powers and coming back that they drove 7 nails through her jawbone, and her clothes were even nailed down to keep her in place. So and especially since she was buried in a shallow grave, they, like, nailed her in place. And apparently that was, like, an old custom way to keep the dead firmly in their graves so they wouldn't, like, zombie, I guess. I don't know. But that's all I have.
That's fun.
So there's those fun stories. But, yeah, I don't know. That for sure was definitely a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We definitely are probably going to, hopefully, record another session here soon.
I would like to, yes.
But, like, as in today, maybe?
Gotta make sure little kids homework stuff.
So, yes, got it. Okay. So I guess we will talk to you guys next time.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna, like, upload this as soon as we're done.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm very excited.
I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Yeah. I hope that you enjoyed listening to our cosmic bullshit.
Yeah. To our out-of-this-world shittiness. Alright, talk to you guys later. Bye!
Bye.